All right, so we're going to go over the steps for the 1215 assignment. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a picture of my choice onto Photopea. So photopea.com, and you can either go from your phone or from your computer to choose a picture that you want to use, one that you're going to be changing the background of. It needs to be either a photo that you have taken yourself or a photo that has you in it, and it needs to either have a person, an animal, or a 3D object in it. So I am going to choose a picture from my computer. I'm going to click File and Open. If you need to send it from your phone to your computer, email it to yourself, and then you can download it from your computer. So I'm going to click on File, Open, and I am going to go ahead and choose this picture right here of Halloween a couple years ago at my school. So what I'm going to do once I have this open, I'm going to click Select. I'm going to click Magic Cut because we know this is the tool that we're going to use in order to separate the foreground from the background. As you can see, it naturally starts it out. It doesn't look so hot right now. I'm going to click on my green because we know that's how I separate what's going to be the foreground, kind of like that highlighter. I'm going to click on size. And one of the things that you may have heard me mention is I like to start with a bigger brush first, and then I go in with a smaller brush after. I will mention that it is taking my computer a little bit of a lag, and I'm just gonna say if it freezes at some point, it's just because it's running quite a few different processes right now. So I'm gonna start with the brush pretty big, then after I'll get to work my way smaller just to save a little time. Yeah, that I'm gonna have to clean up on the left-hand side. Now I'm gonna go in just to start cleaning that up, and then I'll go in with the background. There we go. I do not want that annoying pop-up of they shouldn't be meeting because that annoys me quite a lot. So I'm going to start with a bigger background brush. Again, I like to think of it like this is a highlighter that you're using to tell the program what's the foreground that you want to keep, what's the background that you want to get rid of. Yeah, there's quite a delay between this. So now that I have the big areas somewhat finished, I can see on the left-hand side that there are some smaller areas that I just need to take a little bit more time on. So I'm going to get a little bit closer. Oops, did not mean to right click there. And I can start to see some areas that are getting lost in the shuffle. So I can see like on the top of the head, I still need to go over that unicorn horn, but like I know I want to do that with a smaller brush so that way they don't accidentally meet. I think that this part of it should really take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes for you to really go in with the precision. What you can also do is use like a stamping method by like stamping the circle for that big area instead of dragging it. I think that that can give some extra precision. So now I'm going to zoom in because right now the A from Miss Asarch is currently showing up as my foreground, and I don't really want that. All right, so the A is gone. I still have this border showing. Okay, this is looking better. We're getting there. All right, and I'm just going to go over the unicorn horn, things that I didn't think I would be saying, and the ear that kind of got lost. All right. And now let's go in with the red because on the left-hand side and a little bit up here too, I can see some of the background hanging on and I don't really want that. So this is where the precision is really important. If you're trying to crop someone out of a picture, again, you want to make sure that you don't accidentally like leave their arm in it behind you because then that's how people end up on those like Photoshop fail compilations. All right, so I can see this looking a lot better now. Oh God, no, I got the error message. think we need to just make it a game of bingo to see how long anyone can go without getting that error message. So clearly, I can't even go a whole thing without getting the error message. Which, fun fact, you can actually save the picture even and click OK, even if you get the error message. It's pretty much there just to help you. I have some of the chairs showing, which I don't really want. So shout out to the seniors for really pointing that out because I did not know that you could do that. All right, so I am going to, oops, that was on the zoom in instead of the zoom out. Do a final sweep. Again, to zoom in, click on the plus sign. To zoom out, click on the minus. Use the hand to drag it around. You know what? Okay. I'm going to click OK. And then one step that I'm going to do, just because I don't think I was able to get the precision that I wanted, I'm just going to click on the eraser, make it a little bit bigger, and I'm just going to help myself out by cleaning up that edge a little bit, just using the eraser. The eraser tool is right underneath the clone stamp. You can see it's just getting rid of that little edge because that was just annoying me, and I couldn't really get the precision that I wanted like that. All right, I think we're good. I also like to do on the magnifying glass fit to screen, and it just does that. And then I can zoom back in on a different area, like what happened up here? Not quite sure. Gonna clean that up. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna do fit the area. I think we are good. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do File, Save as PSD. That's our beautiful Photoshop document. And now I'm gonna just check over here. So I have it open in Photopea. I have Magic Cut done. I saved my work, and let's find a nice new background. So I'm going to click on unsplash.com, and I'm just going to choose a new background that I think looks pretty cool. And I might choose a different background than the one I chose in the slides. It's up to you what you want to choose. Oh, that's pretty. I'm going to actually, I think I might go back to that one. And again, totally up to you what type of picture you want to use. You guys know I'm afraid of plants, so I'm not going to choose that one. You know what? I can't tell if that's going to make me dizzy or not. So I'm going to just go with this one because I was thinking about it. So like you guys saw, when you find one that you like, click on it to enlarge it. In the top right corner, click download free, and it downloads it right to your computer. So I'm going to go back to Photopea. I'm going to click File, Open and Place. And then I'm going to click on that picture that I just downloaded in my downloads. So we gotta work with this because this isn't looking so cute right now. Right now, the first thing I notice is that it put this layer right on top of my other layer, and I don't really want that. So I'm gonna stretch this guy out. I basically have two options. I can either rotate my picture or I can just stretch this out. Like it's an option just for like the next step. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by taking it, like you can see over on the layers on the right hand side. This is the name of the artist, the original photographer. I'm going to drag that to be behind my picture. If I really wanted to do something weird, I could put like three different pictures, but I'm not going to do that. So now I have my picture in front, which is how I want it. But it's still not occupying all of this space. I still see that checkered background showing me that it's not taking up the entire space. Yes, I know I have an obscene amount of emails. So I'm going to stretch that guy out. So I'm going to click on the little move tool up here, the little cursor. And then I'm going to click on transform controls. And when you want to get rid of that, just click on it. And again, it turns off all of those things. I like to go from the diagonal corners, and I'm going to click on the diagonal left-hand corner, and I'm going to drag that boy up and then drag that boy down. It kind of gets stretched out, but I kind of like it. So I'm going to click on the little check mark when I'm done. Oh, I didn't finish. That needed to go over that way too. And again, if you want to turn those little annoying dots off, just click transform controls afterwards. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So before I do any other edits, I'm going to do File, Save as PSD. And this is two steps that I notice right now. One is that I still see some of this little background hanging on over my shoulders. So I'm just going to make sure that I click on the layer that has myself, because if I go to erase the other layer, it's going to erase the wrong thing. Just to show you, like right now, I can erase this on this layer. Like I could do that. I'm not going to. But if I accidentally click on the background layer, it's going to give me this pop up like, are you sure you want to do that? Because that's a smart object. And that's basically it telling you, like, you sure about that? So I'm going to make sure that I'm on the picture that I actually want to erase. I'm going to erase and clean it up just because I didn't clean it as perfectly as I could have. This is where I could go in with a much smaller eraser, clean it up. 'Cause who knows? Maybe I'll post this on Instagram later and be like, look, I'm traveling, I'm seeing the world. And then all my family is going to be like, no, you're not. It's 2020. You're walking down the street, maybe. Gonna clean up those edges. All right. So I could take a little bit more time to do that, but for the sake of time, I'm gonna zoom back out, click fit the area. So this is one last step that is an optional step. Right now, this is not looking so natural. It looks like it's indoor lighting on me and then outdoor lighting on the background. And I kind of want to change that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just edit up that layer. I'm going to play around with some things. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on image, adjustments, and I'm going to go to my handy dandy level tool and drag it off to the side so that way I can see it. And with this, I can adjust the lights, the darks. I don't want to make it lighter. Like as we can see, it's making the darks a lot darker, and the background kind of looks like it's a little bit sunsetty. So I can actually bring that down, and that's actually working pretty well with it. I can make the grays a little bit darker or lighter. Mm, let's go with a little bit darker. And so you can see what it looked like before and after. You can click on preview. Yeah, that looks much better already. I'm going to click OK. If I need to undo it, I can go up here. Next thing I'm going to do, this is a new one, image adjustments, and I'm going to click exposure. This just gives me a few different options. Exposure is how light or how dark, but it also kind of looks at how intense the colors are. So I'm going to make it just a little bit less exposed because as we can see, this is just kind of dulling the colors, making it look a little bit softer. It's not a huge difference, but it does make it look a little bit more natural. You can just play around with that until you see it in a way that you like it. Finally, I'm going to do adjustments and then hue saturation. And I'm going to show you a couple of tricks with this. The first one is with the hue, like that goes into unnatural territory. So I'm going to do reset, saturation. I could make the colors a little bit more saturated to match the background. Saturation right now is on master. That means that it's all of the colors. If I wanted it to focus just on, let's say, the purples, the pinks, the reds, like the colors in the sky, I could go to red and up the saturation in that. I could go to magenta, up the saturation in that. Okay, there isn't an awful lot of magenta there. I could go to the blues because, blue and red make purple. Make it a little bit more saturated. And cyan, make it a little bit more saturated. You're mostly going to see that in the apron. And just to show you the before and after of the hue and saturation, it's not a huge difference. It's pretty subtle, but I think it works with the colors of the sky. And let's see, is there anything that I need to clone out? I think I'm pretty good with that. So I'm going to fit the screen. If there's anything that I want to blur or that I want to clone, I can. But that's all optional. So I'm going to click File, Save as PSD, so I can save that as a PSD file to my computer. And then File, Export as. It doesn't have a see-through background, so it doesn't matter if you do PNG or JPEG. Either one of them is going to work. I'm going to go with JPEG. Oh God, that was very zoomed in. I'm just going to click Save. And then that is what I'm going to upload to Google Classroom, and I will be set for this assignment. And if I want to even upload this on Instagram, if I want to put this on Facebook, I absolutely can.